This episode is presented to you in the form of an audiobook. There are moments when the world feels like it's moving at full speed. Plans, promotions, weddings, updates, one thing after another. And yet, somewhere in the middle of all that, it's possible to feel completely still. Not by choice, not out of laziness. Just stuck in a quiet kind of waiting. Things are happening. Time is passing. But somehow, it doesn't feel like life is actually moving. It's not something that's easy to explain, and even harder to admit out loud. Most of us grow up believing in a kind of unspoken timeline. By a certain age, this should happen. By the next one, that. Milestones start stacking up like check boxes, and anything outside that path starts to feel like delay or failure. But life doesn't move in clean, linear steps. Some things take longer. Some things fall apart. Some don't happen at all. Still, even when that's completely normal, there's this invisible pressure that creeps in, a quiet sense of being late, of being behind, even when there's no race. That pressure doesn't usually arrive all at once. It builds slowly, through casual conversations, through someone asking, "What's next?" Through a quiet comparison that wasn't meant to hurt, but did anyway. A lot of this feeling comes from what we actually see. Every scroll online is a highlight reel. New jobs, big moments, captions about clarity and purpose. It starts to feel like everyone's life is in motion. Everyone but you. But here's the thing. There's a gap between what people show and what they live. No one posts the quiet days, the weeks that blur together, the mornings where nothing feels exciting, the nights spent questioning everything. That part, the real part, exists. It just doesn't trend. And when all that's visible is success and clarity, being still starts to look like failure. But it isn't. It's just not visible. Progress is usually framed as action, movement, momentum. But what about the moments that don't look like any of that? The weeks where nothing feels certain, the decisions that are still undecided, the days that pass without a single achievement. Just because something isn't measurable doesn't mean it's not meaningful. Some growth is invisible. Some realizations happen slowly, over weeks or months. There's value in not knowing, in pausing, in not rushing just to feel in control. Maybe this chapter isn't about arriving. Maybe it's about listening, about unlearning, about being honest with yourself without needing to prove anything to anyone. Even that is a kind of movement. Even that counts. Some seasons aren't made for big steps. They're made for stillness, for sitting with uncertainty, for letting the dust settle. It's tempting to call that a waste, but it's not. Sometimes that's when the most honest parts of us begin to surface. Not to impress, not to perform, but just to be. This space, this pause, it isn't empty. It's where clarity starts, not as a loud announcement, but as a quiet knowing. Something is shifting, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. There isn't always a clean ending to these thoughts. No obvious takeaway, no big solution, just the reminder that if things feel slow, unclear, or paused, you're not broken. You're just in a season that doesn't get much attention. But that doesn't mean it's not real, or that it won't matter later. Some stories take time, some parts unfold quietly, and maybe this is one of them. If this sits with something you've been feeling, you don't have to explain it here. Just know this space exists, for pause, for thought, for figuring it out. Until next time.